This is the main question that everyone's asking about when it comes to the Miami Heat starting lineup. Now, Wiggins, he's still going to be out with his hip flexor. You're also going to have Powell that's going to be out with his groin injury, which he's been phenomenal to start the season. So Zach Lowe, he discusses the Heat starting lineup when healthy. Hero starts because he's Tyler Hero. Norman, he's starting because he's averaging 25. Wiggins has to start. He's having a splendid all-around season. Bam has to start. Do you go big with Ware and Bam, or do you go starter super small and Wiggins at the 4? Also, too, you can even go even smaller, and then you're going to have Davion, especially at that point guard position, to have Davion, Tyler, Powell, Wiggins, Bam. It really just depends on what does the team want. I understand that everyone's playing well, so it's really hard to take out guys like Ware, which, bro, this man's averaging like 14 and 15. Absolutely insane. Then you also have Davion, which he's been phenomenal. He has the best assist-to-turnover ratio in the NBA. I think he's been a phenomenal point guard, getting guys involved, scoring when need to. So how do you really take out his defense? You're also taking out where, think about it, we're struggling to rebound. Is that the smartest thing to have Wiggins at the 4? I think what they should do is you have Tyler, Powell, Wiggins, Bam, Ware. You have Nico come off the bench. He's always played better off the bench. Nico starting really hasn't worked this season. He's also injured. But what is your starting lineup if you're Spo? Let me know in the comments.
Because for sure, because you had starter questions at the guard spots with like, do you start all three of Mitchell, Hero, and Powell? How does that work? Do you need a traditional-ish point guard like Davion Mitchell? And then on the big man spot, do you start Bam and Kel'el Ware? Kel'el Ware, by the way, is on a rebounding binge right now, which is very healthy for a team that is 28th in defensive rebounding. Or do you start Jovic at the 4 and Bam at the 5? And now we actually get to see the answers to those questions. I would say this. Hero starts because he's Tyler Hero. Norm starts because that's over. He's averaging 25 a game. He has to start.
Not a question anymore.
Wiggins has to start because he's having a splendid all-around season. And Bam has to start because he's Bam Adebayo. I think all of those debates are over. Tyler Hero's not going to be a sixth man, and Norm Powell's not going to be a sixth man, at least not in the foreseeable future. Even if you think that is their best version of an ultimate NBA destiny, that's not happening here. And so the question then becomes, do you start big with Bam and Ware? I'm going to guess no, even though they started together yesterday due to injuries. Do you start in the middle somewhere with Jovic, if when he gets healthy, he's missed a couple games with a hip injury, or they've been starting Pelle Larsson as sort of a hybrid 3-4. Jaquez could certainly step into that spot, although he's been so good off the bench, I kind of want to keep him where he is. Or do you, because Davion Mitchell has been such a good driver in this offense, do you start super small and put Wiggins at the 4 and start Mitchell, Hero, Powell, Wiggins, Bam? That could be where they end up. We can get fixated on starters at the expense of who finishes the game, which is really interesting. But the rotation choices Spo has to make are really interesting. And not only at the start, but just how many guys are going to be in the rotation. Spo is traditionally like the 9-man rotation. We just said like 10 names, and we didn't even get to my guy Simone Fontecchio or a bunch of other guys who have played well for them.
Finally, you have somebody with common sense. Rachel Nichols has Eric Spoelstra on her Coach of the Year list. He's the best coach. He was willing to rip up their play style. He's the first person when Braun was there to bring in positionless basketball. Now he's doing the no pick and roll sort of free-form offense. It's amazing. And not only that, you guys always say the Miami Heat, they're going to be in the play-in. They're not going to be that good. Now he's around the 3rd or the 4th seed depending on what night it is. This Miami Heat team is shocking the whole NBA. And then instead of giving him credit, but that's what he's supposed to do. He's the best coach in the NBA. But then you say his team is garbage. So which one is it? You're telling me that a coach that has won 3 championships, Eric Spoelstra, the Team USA coach, has never won Coach of the Year? And this man was bringing undrafted teams to the NBA Finals, to the Eastern Conference Finals. It was really only Bam, Jimmy, and a bunch of undrafted guys. And it's just blasphemy to me that you're telling me he has 800 wins as a coach, 800 plus wins as an NBA coach, and he's never won Coach of the Year.
Sure. I have Spoelstra in there as well.
Spoelstra was my number 3.
So, I just sort of was like, here's my number 1. Yeah. Here's the other 2 guys I think are in the conversation. And completely change. First of all, this goes back a little bit to who's the best player in the NBA. Eric Spoelstra is just one of the best coaches in the league and has been
the best coach. Full stop. He's
the best coach, right? Yeah. So I think that enters into this conversation. But also, he is just was willing to this summer completely rip up their playing style and play. He's the first person who, when LeBron was there, to sort of bring in this positionless basketball idea, and teams have, gone with it, receded from going with it, et cetera. But that came out of his coaching sort of brain there. Now that he's going with the we don't do pick and rolls and sort of the whole sort of free form, I mean, it's amazing.
They don't run plays.
Well, that's what one of the broadcasts was keeping tabs on, had the camera on him and said that an entire half he didn't call a single play.
No, they don't. They understand.
There's no doubt in my mind that Jaime Jaquez Jr. should be the sixth man of the year. So Chris Mannix said that Jaime Jaquez Jr. top of my list for sixth man of the year. He has bounced back in a big way with the numbers coming back, the shooting percentage, total shooting percentage. Overall, in this Miami offense, he's a perfect fit. Rachel Nichols said, I agree, he's second on my list. The thing about Jaime is that he's getting whatever he wants. It doesn't matter who's in front of him. He's actually really playing that Jimmy Butler game well. And what I mean by that is whenever he has a smaller defender on him, automatic post up. Automatic post up, turn around, put up that ball right on the rim. And that's what it's about. He's getting to the free throw line. He is attacking from all over the floor. He's getting to the free throw line. These are the different things that I wanted Jaime to work on. I still need him to improve on the shooting. I say that because when teams pack the paint, if you have a versatile big inside the paint, it's going to be hard for you. Think about it. If you're playing the Milwaukee Bucks and you're going up against Giannis and Miles Turner, good luck getting in the paint. That is why you got to be able to shoot. You got to be at least a mid-range. I'm not saying he has to be a knockdown three-point shooter, but that mid-range game has to be there. I know it's there, that turnaround shot. And even if, I still think he should improve on the three, because in 2025, everybody has to be lethal from the three-point.
Jim Mitchell certainly, if you go by the letter of the law, qualifies. But Jaime Jaquez Jr.
He's also right up there
top
on my list.
Top of my list. I don't know. First year Jaquez Jr. looks like the steal of the draft.
Yeah.
They draft him out of UCLA. Everybody's like, oh, you're drafting the old guy. Turns out the old guy can play. Turns out when you draft the older, was he a senior?
Yeah.
Works out for you when you want a guy that can play right away. Stepped in, looked like a contributor. Miami Heat get themselves another player. Last year, cratered. Number 3 is shooting numbers. Never been a three-point shooter and still isn't a three-point shooter. But across the board, his shooting numbers collapsed. Wasn't getting minutes in the rotation. Just looked like maybe either it was fool's gold his first year, sophomore slump, whatever you want to call it. He has bounced back in a big way. With the numbers coming back, the shooting percentage, total shooting percentage, I think he's still under 20% from three or something like that. He's not a good three-point shooter. But overall, in this Miami offense, he is a perfect fit. He just fits.
I agree.
Someone made a very good point to me. Not only is Norman Powell an all-star, but he can also be in the MVP conversation. He's averaging 25. The Miami Heat right now are third in the Eastern Conference, and he's leading this Miami Heat team. So Norman Powell is scoring 1.25 points per isolation, second best in the NBA behind SGA, and among other players to log at least 50 ISO scoring plays. What's an amazing start to the year is the innovative offense for the Miami Heat, which I told you everybody was going to rave about, because now everyone's involved. Not just Norman Powell, but now we have Tyler Hero, where he had 25 points last night. You have Khalil Ware, who has, 15 and 15, Bam Adebayo, 20 and 10. This Miami Heat team, everyone's able to flourish in this offense. But not only is Norman Powell, he's going to be an all-star for sure, but you also have to put him in that MVP category for helping to lead this Miami Heat team.
Ranks second in isolation scoring efficiency. SGA, of course, ranks number 1. Norm Powell scoring 1.25 points per isolation. That's second in the NBA, ahead of Donovan Mitchell, ahead of James Harden, ahead of Devin Booker, ahead of Luka, ahead of a bunch of guys. It's a little different with Miami, though. Powell doesn't get normal isolations necessarily because of the way Miami's offense operates without screens. It's not like pick and roll, switch occurs, and then Powell is on an island. It's all just within flow of the team. It's all within the flow, because the way the Miami Heat offense works is they're not trying to create advantages with a screen. They're trying to find space through motion. And that's where Norm Powell is getting all of these advantages. And it's just honestly the coolest thing to see this guy in his early 30s have a career best season in the first year on a new team in this innovative system that I think teams are going to end up copying when you see guys like Norm Powell playing at the level that he is. It's really fascinating from a basketball standpoint.
I promise you guys, not only can this Miami Heat team be a top 5 team, but I honestly think they could be a top 3 team in the Eastern Conference. Right now, everyone's playing well. I just can't wait for everybody to get back healthy. Spo, he definitely deserves Coach of the Year. Jaime, he can also get Most Improved and Sixth Man of the Year. You have Norman, Tyler, and Bam, who could be potential All-Stars. Hopefully, all three of them can get it. And wait till Wiggins gets back. This Miami Heat team is going to be a problem. My starting lineup is still Tyler, Powell, Bam, Ware, Wiggins. I think that's a phenomenal starting lineup. Just remember, don't sleep on this Miami Heat team.